one of the key things that I wanted to discuss with you is like, how do you deal with the uncertainty of maybe not really attaining the goals that you have with the way some things can be out of your control? Like, for example, interest rates can rise. People might be scared to be buying, but you have high expectations of yourself. Yeah. How do you balance that out and actually getting to where you want to be?
Well, you also have to be comfortable being uncomfortable. And I'm very uncomfortable because if I hit my goal, I didn't set it high enough.
Yeah.
So I'm always going to be uncomfortable. And if I didn't hit my goal, then I get hard on myself. Why didn't you hit your goal? So I'm actually living in uncomfortability, I guess the words you would say. Yeah. I've learned how to live uncomfortable because, well, again, if I hit my goal, then why didn't I change it? Right? So I'm always, at the end of the year, my goal is hopefully going to increase, right? And keep changing. And I want to push myself to that point. But it's learning how to feel uncomfortable, feeling comfortable in uncomfortability, right? Like that's the goal, right? Because, and then at the end of the day, like maybe at the end of the year, you get your award, sit back, it's like, okay, then really sit down and let's sit down and say, how did I do?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because if you're doing day to day and you're patting yourself on the shoulder, you're not going to push.
Yes.
You're not going to want to do better. You're not going to, and to me, I think for me, I do well under pressure. I do well, on game day. Like I remember I didn't study for tests that well. I hardly ever study. I'm not a good studier, but I would wait to study for a test maybe a day or two before, or I would write my paper a couple of days before because the pressure would always make me do better. I remember I tried writing a paper a week in advance. Man, it sucked. It was just like, even as a kid, I was like, there was no pressure. I would write a couple of sentences here and there. There was just, that's not how my brain works, where I like the pressure. I know what I need to do. And that's how I perform.
You better. Like your creative juices come when you're being tested. And did this apply to every other place in your life? Let's say sports,
absolutely
everything. Like when there's actually a lot on the line, that's when we get the best of David.
I am the worst shinny player. You know what shinny hockey is?
What's shinny?
Shinny hockey was created back in the day where you would go on like play hockey with everybody. You pay like $1, and it used to be called shinny because you weren't allowed to raise the puck because it was like you would just throw a pair of skates on and then go with the glove, and that's why it's called shinny. But basically, it's unorganized hockey, right?
Yeah.
So it's or pond hockey, let's call it. Well, now we call it shinny, but it's like you get full outfits, full gear.
Yeah.
And I'll go on that and stuff too. And we'll say, we'll play games up to 5. And like, because there's no referee, there's no real time, there's no pressure. I'm usually terrible in those games. Like, and as a goalie, right? It's just, it does. So unless, if you start counting score, I get better because I try to beat the other goalie.
Exactly.
But if we're just playing just to play, God, I can care less. My brain's somewhere else. I'm thinking like, I just noticed that even as a kid. So when people come up and be like, hey, do you want to play shinny? I don't know. Is there time? Yeah. Is there a referee? Is like, because to me, I always like to have a goal, even when I'm playing, right? Yeah. Like golf, for example. I'm not great at golf, but I don't play enough of it to be good at it. But I like to play, just try to beat somebody.
And compete.
Yeah, and that's right.
You're going to be like, I kicked your ass. Like when we're out there, like,
absolutely.
And talk shit and like, just be like, listen, take that.
Yeah.
Even like when
here's a better one.
What's up?
Besides golf. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but what I do with my kids, listen, parents, don't go easy on your kids when you're playing board games against them.
No, rub it in their face.
The competitive juices go. I think if you teach the kids at an early age how to compete. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off about the golf thing.
No worries.
But I wanted to talk before, again, my brain goes somewhere else. But with my kids, I never let them beat me in anything. If they beat me legit, I'm like, respect.
Yeah.
My dad taught me that too. We'd play checkers and he'd sometimes kick my ass. Yeah. And then when I started beating him once in a while, and then stuff, we'd go back and forth and stuff when we were kids. And I was younger, like in my teenager stuff too. And it was good competition. Yeah. It teaches you how to lose. I'm not the best loser. I'll be honest, because it frustrates me to lose, which I actually like. If I was, I can be graceful and stuff, but even my kids know when I play board games with them, like we do family game night.
Yeah.
I'm just not the best loser. I'm not the best winner. I'm okay if a winner. Sorry, winning wise, I'm just okay.
It's like you expect to win, but when you lose, you're
I don't
like,
rub it in their face.
Yeah.
Unless they talk trash, and then it's on. Then it's on. But again, I think we all need something to compete against. I don't believe in just going through life just like
kumbaya.
Like la la la, like the life is grand, all that.
No, you need an adversary in everything that you're doing. It could be versus yourself. It could be versus another person. Multiple ways, but I think it makes you rise to the occasion. And I think it gets you better, because if you're not pushed, you're not really gonna, see the best potential.
This also helps me with real estate too. I hate this is going to sound terrible. Fuck it. I hate when other people get listings and I don't get them. I don't care that there's 70,000 listings. I want them all.
Yeah.
So when I see everybody and I know as a Christian, we're supposed to love the other, but inside of me goes, oh, you should have those. You should. And just my competitive spirit. Now, could I take on all the listings in the world? Of course not. That's impossible. Nobody can do that. But just innately, when I see somebody else, I'm like, oh, you got another listing, huh? And I try to turn that off. I try to be nice about it, because it's, again, I do wish well for everybody, but my competitive spirit inside is like, you need more listings. Look at so-and-so. He's got and again, you're not supposed to judge yourself by social media, but it does get those.
It does get to you.
It does get to me. Oh yeah.
And, it's actually a great thing you brought up the real estate, because I wanted to transition that to talk about your business and where you're at right now. To those realtors who are watching you, they're seeing you climb up the levels of success that you had over the years. What are the harsh realities of being a realtor today that a lot of new realtors don't know? But with your experience and your insights, perhaps you could share some things that you're noticing that they can't see as of yet.
There's a lot of time and effort in planning and one place properties get ready, right? So if you want to get top dollar for what you do, you have to provide the service. That's it, full stop. If you're not doing the right things, if you're not presenting the house the best way, you're not going to make the money you're going to have. You're not going to showcase the property well. Your clients aren't going to refer you because they're not putting your whole effort in. They want to see the transition.
Can feel it. They can feel when you're in the effort.
You have to love this business. One of my clients, we're listing their property this week, and we just have everything. I met with them. They've had other realtors. Even they met with 8 ones, and the mother and daughter were both said to me, they're like, "Wow, you really love what you do, right?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm not doing this for a paycheck. I'm not. It's just, here's the level I'm doing. Here's what you did wrong with the last one. Here's how I can help you." You also have to be a problem solver in the sense that you have to see every single property as a problem and how you can solve it and what you can do to solve those issues to get you maximum dollar. Don't just go into a property saying, well, start calculating how much money you can make.
Like the commissions.
That'd be the biggest pitfall. So, but the thing is, it takes time to figure out your systems and develop those systems, getting the right people in the right place. I got a great set of cleaners that come in. We do clean all the properties. I take care of that, booking all that. I have obviously a fantastic stager with my wife that comes and she has a great eye for that, makes all properties pop. The photographer I use, there's some trials and tribulations. You're going to go through and maybe have 3 or 4 photographers and go through the videos and figure out what you like, but it's always ongoing. You have to keep changing and making your business better. I don't care what business you're in. If you're not always trying to be at the top level of your game, you're going to get buried. Well, I say this to my brother, who's also into the hairdresser, and I'm like, you need to do this. My dad and I talked to him before, and I don't want to get into that kind of stuff, but it was also relatable with hairdressing. If you're not going into conventions, if you're not constantly learning, there's somebody out there who's maybe getting their license right now.
Yeah.
Who's going to come in and they're going to whip your ass because you're doing the same thing you did 5 years ago. And that really, it translates because, well, look what we've done in the last few years. We never had reels a couple of years ago. And I still do my 6-minute long video when you come look at the property and it talks about it and how beautiful it is. But on Instagram, the algorithm doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
So you also have to be up to date with what sells, like social media. So these are kinds of things. You're not just a realtor. You're also an influencer at this point. You have to know how
you're a content creator.
You're a content creator, right? And I'm sorry, showing your tits and ass and getting to sell a listing is not a fucking realtor. I'm sick. I'm sorry. I say that. That drives me nuts. Or watching Selling Sunset. I think you're just going to be a luxury agent because you wear short skirts and high heels. You would be amazed on how many people I've run into in the last couple of weeks, how many said they just want to be a luxury agent. They just got their license. And you can tell that they've done work, on their
assets.
On their assets. And I'm like, no, you don't want to be a luxury agent. You want to get grassroots, figure out how to sell a house, how to talk to somebody. Because when you get to the high level and if you don't know how to sell, all you're going to be is a trophy piece and something like you look great. I'm not saying that, but that's not going to get you a sale. If you don't know anything about a house, that's not going to get you a sale. If you don't know sales. So there's all those things. So you have to be a content creator. You have to look the part. But I don't always agree with, fake it until you make it. Learn, start. If you don't know how to sell, start taking some marketing courses, start learning online. Like there's so many books talking to how you talk to people, how do you get the maximum, value for yourself.
Absolutely.
So that is the thing I find that people don't realize is like, you're not just selling homes. The other thing is you're dealing with people and their biggest asset. Now, if you screw up, you can bankrupt somebody.
Yeah.
That's on you.